All these fans, I really appreciate it, man. All the teammates I had, everybody had my back. I'm just happy, this guy, I love these fans, I love this city, but it's time to move on.
Wears those colors, and the number 77 on his back. We'll get it right back. Luka, three, got it!
In shot and miss it by an inch.
Luka has scored or assisted on 11 of the 18. Make it! He'll just right back out. We'll get it right from Vinny Smith. On its way! Down it goes!
Welcome back to the All Things Basketball Podcast. This episode is really just me kind of thinking about this whole Luka thing. What we've seen from Luka in just these last 3 games alone, if you want to exclude every other thing and you just want to look at the last 2 games against OKC, one of them which he was ejected from, and then this last one last night against the Mavs, what I've gathered from this, just imagine for a second that you are such a problem for an opposing defense that they're going to put their best defender on you. They're also going to make sure the help is right there when you're on the ball. And we are going to rotate a little bit later on LeBron, or we're going to just make LeBron play off of a closeout, off of a catch, and we're just going to rotate out on him afterwards. Maybe we'll keep someone on him and, cheat away from someone else. But for the most part, watching these defenses for example, with OKC, put Lou Dort, mainly putting Lou Dort on Luka. And yes, he had some time guarding LeBron. Obviously, that switches around with all the pick and rolls, all the handoffs and the motion and the fast breaks. Matches get crossed up all the time. But watching OKC consistently opt to have the best defender on the floor guard Luka is just another example of why this guy is so damn special. There's a team with LeBron on it. Yes, he's 40 years old. Yes, it's expected, right, for someone else to pull the attention away from LeBron. But even at 40 years old, that was not really the thing with Anthony Davis. When they had AD, yes, AD was problematic for opposing teams because of the skill set, but AD settled in ways that Luka doesn't. And Luka is an absolute killer in a million ways that Anthony Davis was just never a killer. And I think that that's one of the biggest differences between this teammate alongside LeBron and AD. Now, Luka being able to just go out there and do everything on his own, similar to the way LeBron can do it, is exactly what makes the Lakers so difficult to deal with. You go to the first game against OKC, Luka just absolutely dominates them. 30 points. We know the numbers. They win the game. It was a blowout win. It was kind of a boring game, to be honest. I was hoping to see a little more competition and, kind of scratch that game as, okay, well, this isn't what I was expecting to see. I was expecting at least a more competitive game from OKC. Now, you can always just say that OKC, look, man, they locked the number 1 seed. There is absolutely no reason to go hard in these late games. They've already locked their first seed. They don't want to show too much to a team they could potentially see later on in the playoffs. So I completely understand, quote unquote, not showing up to play the Lakers late in these games. Now, the second game, Luka was not as efficient, right, as that first game where he dominated. But he was still getting his in ways that were really making things difficult for OKC. And it really made me question, for one of the first times, what is OKC going to do about this matchup? Now, again, I preface it by saying these are late games. They're probably not showing all the things they're going to want to show in the playoffs. So I have to give OKC the benefit of the doubt. That being said, Luka was ejected, and then that changed everything for the game. I think it doesn't take a very smart person to notice the drastic change in how that game went as soon as Luka got ejected. Obviously, that ejection, that technical got rescinded. We know about all that. I'm not even going to get into that. Then he has this game against the Mavs last night where he is the best player on the floor, and the city is cheering him on the whole time. I don't think I've ever seen the fans in Dallas cheer for an opposing player, let alone an opposing player in a Laker jersey. Now, maybe Kobe late in his career that I can't remember off the top of my head, but this was different. This was their guy, their homegrown talent that they picked up in the draft. They've had so many moments with him. They were just experiencing watching him in the finals, and now he's in a Laker jersey, and he is absolutely torching the Mavs in such special ways that I'm showing on this video right now. Just the degree of difficulty of the way that this guy makes shots, the passes that he makes, just everything he does, it keeps your eyes glued to the TV. And I'm looking at just the step back threes for Luka because, you know, when you go look at the splits, and I'll pull them up right now, he's shooting 34.7% on step back threes on the season. Now, that doesn't sound too good. It's actually not terrible because the step back three is a pretty inefficient three to take. 34.7% is actually not bad to take on such a difficult shot. Now, he's 36.4% overall in the season, but if you then go to post All-Star numbers, which I think is also going to be a little more relevant because obviously that's the second half of the season, he's at 38.8% on step back threes, and he's 38% from three on the season. Now, given all of that, just how this guy generates offense, like teams throw the kitchen sink at Luka, and he just somehow, time and time again, manages to get the ball through the basket, like just in insane ways that just make you think like, okay, well, this is just Luka Magic, right? Like just in a nutshell, this is just what the guy does. And if you're OKC, you are happy to see the Lakers potentially on the other side of this bracket until obviously they potentially could meet in the conference finals, which honestly at this point, it's really looking like that's what it's going to be. It's still premature. It's still so early. I don't want to discount some of the teams that have really put in some serious work throughout the entire season. But when you start to think about what are you going to do about this Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves trio, it's an incredibly problematic three-man weave that teams have to deal with. Like, you got LeBron, who does LeBron things, right? We know what LeBron's going to do. He's going to be a computer out there. He's going to break apart the defense. He's going to try to find things in transition, whether it's him running the floor or him finding someone that's getting out and running. He's going to pick apart a half-court defense. If there's a mismatch for him, he's going to bully it, and hopefully he'll draw two, and then he'll make the right decision. Guys are playing off of this. They're getting tons of open threes. I made a breakdown video on just how exactly these guys are carving up defenses, specifically against the Houston Rockets in that last video. But just like, I don't know how many teams want to see the Lakers in a playoff series. And, you know, watching them kind of comfortably deal with OKC, like I said, late in the season, difficult sample to pull from because OKC is just so comfortable and locked into that one seed, like I've said a million times on this pod, that it's really hard for me to judge OKC just on those couple of games that they've played already with Luka in the lineup. So I am just so interested in watching these two teams go at it in a playoff series. I really hope we get to see it somehow. I just wanted to give some quick thoughts on it. Like, my goodness, how do you trade a player that pretty much has taken over a team with LeBron on it in terms of usage rate, in terms of attention, gravity? Like, AD, great player, incredible talent, one of the few that you will see at that position, at that size, with such a skill set that he has, but he wasn't taking away that type of attention, and he wasn't commanding a team and even just commanding the ball, right? We always wanted to see Anthony Davis just demand the ball and do something with it, right? Take advantage of mismatches. You're faster than other bigs. You're taller than other wings. Like, you could just punish people down low. But again, Anthony Davis just not cut from that cloth, and Luka just is. He had such an emotional night against his former team. He was crying. You could see him shaking. It was such an emotional game for him. And to watch him still show up, and yes, the team is not, there's no Kyrie, it's it's still a pretty damn daunting front line to deal with, okay? And still watching Luka just carve people up and go off for 45 in the way that he did it, in such an efficient way and just a dominant way, it just goes to show the mental fortitude that this dude has. And he just has that dog in him that I haven't seen from a LeBron co-star in a very long time. I haven't seen it since Kyrie, if I'm keeping it 100. And he's got arguably an even better player now next to him in Luka. A guy that can totally do all the things LeBron does, minus the defensive stuff that LeBron did in his prime. But the scoring, the assists, the rebounding, the intelligence, just using the IQ to pick apart defenses, and then also just that little touch of magic that Luka has. Incredible stuff to watch. I am very excited for these playoffs, and I can't wait to see just what the ceiling is for this Laker team this season.